Hey, what is up guys, GuitarRock here, welcome back to another Brown Dust 2 video. So let's talk a little bit more about the current banners and of course the upcoming banners as well for the banner reruns. A lot of you guys, some of you guys have told me about this particular roadmap. Why haven't I talked about this yet? So hopefully in this video I'll cover this in particular to give you guys a better idea of who is going to be the best one to try to target accordingly, right? Now keep in mind that there's going to be this coming soon section that you can see right here, right? So we got swimsuit Wilhelmina, we got the swimsuit Zenith, right? Pulati Zenith, and then there's the coming soon. Now this is going to be for the new characters, right? So they are always going to release new characters as well, and then there'll be rerunning characters for the old characters as well, right? So I believe this is going to be the swimsuit Eclipse coming next week, and then we got I believe Sacred Justia, and then a swimsuit Pulati Angelica alongside with the Michaela and Grand Hilde right here, right? So we can talk a little bit more about all of these other ones, but of course I'm not aware of who is going to be the new characters that will be coming. So I can't give a full picture yet, but hopefully you guys are aware that for anyone that's returning, that's going to be a rough planning ahead so that you can get an idea of what you want to get or who you should be getting, right? So let's first talk about this week. Right now we got Pulati or Poolside Guardian Zenith. So I already make a review video about her, you can check that out. I do think that she is going to be a decent character, but the main one is still going to be the better, the Robin Hood Zenith, right? So if you got Robin Hood Zenith, you got that as high as you can, and you're trying to like complement her even further, then this is going to be a good addition to that. However, next week we will be getting this particular one, which is going to be the swimsuit Eclipse, right? Now let's talk a little bit more about her as a whole. Now, Beach Vacation Eclipse, like I said, she's coming next week. So she is going to be a very unique character in the terms of if you are looking for a magic DPS, right? Right now it's either between her or Natters. Now this particular costume that you see, the swimsuit variant, is going to be her highest damage dealing one. Alright, so you can see right here we got the Bright Eclipse that you guys obtained recently, right? This is going to be pretty decent. It does 625%, right? And then 4 SP, cooldown time is 5 turns. Range is pretty decent, but this is nothing compared to the one right here. If you can max this out, this is 3 SP, way cheaper in terms of cost, and it does 450% and it hits twice. So that means you multiply that by 2, right? You get 900%. So way higher damage compared to this particular one. However, the downside to this costume is because it is so strong. The cooldown time is insane, 11 turns. So basically, if you are trying to use this for the Fiend Hunter setup and stuff, you want to make sure that you get all the powerful buffs before you go all in and basically unleash this particular costume. Now, Eclipse is strong, but you need to make sure that you have all the other costumes, and this particular one is going to be limited, however. Now, I believe they should rerun this later this year. Not 100% sure on that, but ideally, they have been rerunning this costume every year alongside with Bunny Celia as well. So hopefully that's going to happen again this year for any players that have missed out on her. So that's going to be something to take note of. I do think that if you are looking for a decent dark type magic DPS character as a whole, right? You want a big AoE and stuff, this is going to be one of the few costumes, especially has carried me a lot in Tower of Salvation and stuff due to her burst nature, right? Or her bursty nature. Even though the cooldown time is 11 turns, this is a very good costume to use in a story, right? And also in situations where you don't want to like set up multiple turns like Fiend Hunter and Guild Raids, you just want to go all in, burst the enemies as much as you can, similar to Loen, right? Loen also has that particular nature to her, so very, very good in that particular regards. But in a lot of players' account, I do think that you might want to not pull for her this time around. Not because she's bad or anything, but because if you look at this particular roadmap, right after her is going to be Sacred Justia. Now, that's going to be very interesting. You can see Eclipse, and then we got Grand Hilde, which is going to be a little bit more of a niche character. The one that you want for Grand Hilde is going to be the idle one. That one has the preemptive taunt. This particular one is going to be much more of a counter-based character. Definitely way more niche. But let's talk about Sacred Justia, right? If you guys are not aware, for Sacred Justia as a whole, she is probably going to be more used, and she is probably going to be a little bit complicated as well, depending on how you look at it. But I would prefer more players to actually get her or obtain her. Where is okay, right here, right? So the thing is, with Sacred Justia, right, she is probably going to be one of the biggest AoE character in the game. The only downside that she has is she hits the most front, right, very front. So that can be a big of a downside, especially if the enemies in the middle, they have the most front character. You gotta like push them to the side to make sure you hit more enemies if there's more enemies at the back. So that's going to require a little bit of strategy. It's not that big of a deal, but some players might not know how to take full use of the rotational, you know, pushing the direction and stuff, right? She is going to be strong if you can get multiple copies. So because she is coming right after Eclipse, right, it seems like we are not aware of, again, not aware of what is the new characters that's coming as well. When that comes out, I need to make a separate video to update you guys. But Sacred Justia seems to be the better offer right here. If I were to pick between those two, Eclipse is going to require multiple costumes. Sacred Justia, she doesn't require multiple costumes. She only has one costume, right, for this particular variant. And if you can get her to at least +4, that's going to be where she can get this to 1 turn. It's going to allow her to basically have the consistent damage, right, going through in every single turn. The thing is, you gotta keep in mind that she is not strong if you are looking to target only 1 or 2 enemies. As much as I love her, in some situations, some other enemies, some other allies or characters can still be better than her because she's weak if there's only 1 or 2 enemies on the map, right? So single target is not that strong for her because her damage scales off in proportion of the more enemies there are or the more targets there are, right? Damage increased by 60% right here. You can see at +0, +1, +2 is going to be still 60%, but +3 you can see 80%, right? So the more enemies hit, the more her damage scaling increase. So keep in mind that if you are fighting like 1 or 2 enemies on the map, there are characters like Wilhelmina and stuff that's going to be better in that particular situation. So however, AoE scenario, yeah, she's probably going to be one of the better ones. In fact, she's the best physical in terms of the light damage DPS right now. Another one is going to be Ventana and Yuri. Ventana and Yuri is going to be much more dependent, especially Ventana. She's typically more niche if you're talking about Fin Hunter scenario. If the enemy has like Taunt or you can apply Concentrated Fire, sometimes you can pair with Zenith for that particular regards. But for Sacred Justia, she's definitely way more consistent, so I highly recommend you guys to get her. She's going to be very, very good in a lot of situations as well. Very high rankings in the DPS for Tower, alright, Evil Castle. Very good in story, in campaign, in all the necessary scenario. Good in bosses as well. I don't think there's any scenario that she could be bad unless there's only like 1 enemy on the map, right? Then that's going to be where you want to like replace her with something else. Now her SP can be high, right? 5 SP, so it is going to be what it is, but I do think that for most players, she is going to be my recommendation if you guys can pull one out of all of this bunch, alright? So right after Sacred Justia, you can see there's going to be Michaela right here. So let's talk a little bit more about Michaela. So that is going to be, I believe, the swimsuit Michaela. This particular one, right? So Michaela has actually, she has 3 costumes. Believe it or not, this one is going to be her, I will say her least useful one. Alright, it's not useless, but to the point that you cannot use this at all, but it's still like, if you get this particular costume, right? If you get this particular one, I believe you can get 1 copy from this from the story for free if you play in the campaign. I forgot what chapter though, I think one of the latest chapter. This one is going to be the strongest one, right? So you rotate this one, and then you rotate back to this one to get the high DPS damage, right? This is going to be like way insane. The Office Michaela is going to be the one that do the most damage. Now you can obviously rotate back to this. This is going to give you a different skill range. It hits in the straight line. Very, very useful in that situation. But in most cases, you can get away with not having this one, right? You can rotate between just these two if you don't have this particular costume. Now that's not to say that this is bad. I'm not saying that this is bad, but out of these 3, this probably is something that you can get away with not having. It's still going to be good. You are still going to get the magic attack, right? You are still going to get the, what is this? The decent skill tile range. And if the boss is going to be a boss that favors her, basically in the straight line, then she is definitely going to be useful. Otherwise, the Office one is going to be able to be, it has higher multiplier, right? So that's going to be something to keep in mind. So all in all, if you want to get this particular one, right, I do think that it's not too bad right now. +1 is going to be for the SP reduction, and then that's pretty much it, right? Everything else is going to be damage increase. You can get this up to +1 if you want to. Now, you're probably going to focus on Sacred Justestia. I think that's going to be the priority because both of them are the light type DPS characters. And then right after that, you can see right here, we got the Pulati Angelica. Now, what do I think about this costume, right? I do think that Angelica is a little bit of a weird one, right? It's really hard to recommend her to new players because of Sacred Justestia, right? And also like Michaela also exists. So again, like physical, you're probably going to go with Sacred Justestia. Magic, you're probably going to go with Michaela. Now, Angelica is a magic DPS character, sort of, but she's not really a magic scaling, alright? In terms of like, she scales off, as you can see, the enemy's max HP. Alright, it is going to be a little bit different, it's a little bit weird, so she can be a little bit finicky in some situations if the enemy doesn't have a lot of HP, but if the enemy has a lot of HP, especially for bosses, she can do a lot of damage. Right, this is going to be Angelica's highest damage dealing costume, right, out of the 3. So she got 3 costumes. I would say you get this one and this one, then you're good to go. This one is going to be less useful because it's much more of a DOT, and this one, it stacks off, the DOT stacks off current HP as opposed to max HP. The max HP is going to do 5%, whereas this one does 80%. Alright, this one does 25%, but it hits 3 times. So in most situations, this particular Angelica costume is going to be the highest damage dealing ones, alright? A little bit higher than this one because of the 3 hits and also the chain stack and stuff, right? But in a lot of scenario, if you already got Sacred Justestia, Angelica is probably going to complement her in terms of if you're fighting one single boss, then she's going to be useful in that scenario. Now, there's also going to be characters like Wilhelmina, Hikage, those characters with high chain stack you can pair with Zenith to try to deal with those. But other than that, this is going to be how it is, as you can see, right? Definitely a very, very useful one in that particular situation. So, all in all, should you get this particular one? I would say it's decent overall, but it's going to be dependent on who is coming next. And in this case, I can sort of see the picture, or you can see that Swimsuit Tourist is going to rerun again. Alongside with that, there is one more limited character, and that's going to be Pulati Shiraz. In my opinion, she's probably going to be the better one if you're trying to pull for limited characters. Now, none of these characters, as far as I know, right? Let me see. Let me look at the picture again. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. None of these are limited. The one that's limited is going to be Pulati Justestia, and of course, did I say Pulati Justestia? Pulati Shiraz and Therese right here. Now, if you haven't +5 Swimsuit Therese, you can do it later, but alongside with that, as you can see, we have, where is it? Shiraz's Pulati right now. I'm a big fan of this particular costume because it completes Shiraz as a whole, right? If you don't have this costume, you only got this one, and this one. I feel like you have less flexibility because number one, the other costumes are like, this one is 3 SP, this one is 4 SP, this one is 3 SP as well. Now this one is going to be 2 SP, right? It is going to be her cheapest one, right? So just double check again with the potential liberation. Yeah, this is going to be her cheapest one, alright? So in a lot of situations, if you are just going to use her to remove buffs, alright, and I'm talking about PvP or in any PvE scenario, like especially if enemies have Taunt, 2 SP is going to be very, very good. Now, another character that can do that is going to be Iliania, right? She can also do that for 2 SP, but her tower range is a bit different. Hers is in a line, whereas Shiraz is going to be in a V shape. Now, depending on how you are trying to configure your team, I can see Shiraz is useful in some magic teams as well. So these are going to be the common taunt remover or like buff remover generally, right? Again, she is also going to be good because she helps you to stack chain as well. She can hit the enemy 5 times. Very, very useful in that scenario. I definitely do think that if you use Shiraz a lot, this costume is going to complete her. Now, if you don't have this costume, you only got the other 3, I think it's going to feel really, really incomplete, right? Highly recommend if you guys can get this. And since this is going to be limited, that means if you don't get the Pulati Shiraz, you will need to wait probably 1 whole year before she reruns. That is going to be a big bummer, right? All in all, if I were a new player starting today, like let's say I have a new account, right? I'm probably going to lean towards Pulati Justestia. I mean, why did I say Sacred Justestia, alright? And then Pulati Shiraz. Alright, these two are going to be the ones that makes the most sense. Alright, so Sacred Justestia, hopefully she can carry me in all the campaign scenarios and stuff. And then Pulati Justestia will complement her if I need to remove Thorn, etc, etc. Now, of course, if you have not yet +5 your Therese, probably Therese is also going to be equally as important. Now, in terms of this particular costume, if you can't get her up to high enough dupes, you can just stop at +3 just to get her up to 2 SP, right? That's going to be a good stopping point, just to use her to remove buff. Other than that, don't worry about it too much, right? Because you know, like, I understand that there's going to be a lot of characters right here. Again, we don't know who is going to be the coming soon right here. That one we'll have to wait and see with the new characters incoming, etc. So yeah, with that being said, these are going to be the reruns for the roadmap that we have. I have no idea who the new characters are going to be. That's going to be something that we'll have to wait. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of all of these characters. Who do you guys plan on pulling? And as always, as per usual, subscribe. Give this video a like if you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.